all women got good pussy. It is about whom and how she is putting it on you. However, having a good woman with intelligence and character by your side beats out a whore that suck dick until you climax in her mouth. In time, life and preparations for it wins over lust and poor decisions, and real men must understand the difference. A white woman does not know she has a good pussy for black men, for she is too busy thinking of his dick instead of his plans for her. A white man will be taken through hell and the court system if has children with a white woman and break up with her. However, a black man can have many children with a white woman, and if he is not famous, she will continue to let him have sex with her. White women are intricate people. A man can make her feel on top of the world, and she still go back to that asshole that physically and emotionally abusing her. A white woman never makes it about her pussy. She makes it about the man, while today's black women look at the pockets instead of the brains. Black women have serious problems, for they let a black man run them into the ground, destroying their self-esteem and quality until they have less and less of themselves to be happy. A black man would rather destroy a black woman's heart and future while living in a pretending paradise with a white woman. One day, in the not-so-distant future, love will overcome social media, abuse, and insults to influence and make people share it without past problems.
I don't know why I started out with that.
The do's and don'ts of being with white women.
I just don't know.
If she has never been with a...
We're going to wait. We're going to pause with that. I don't know why I started out with that. I was surfing the internet, and I was like, this would be funny to get a shock and a rise out of everybody. Welcome, everyone, to another episode of LANCESCURV Live. As you all know, I kind of pushed this back to the nighttime because I said, you know, I've been getting up. You see, what you got to understand is that like 10 o'clock for me, Eastern Standard Time is actually 3 o'clock in the afternoon, right in the middle of my day. So it's like I got to be really, really, you know, up on things because I'm doing a whole lot of things in the day. So instead of having that tension, let it be at this time of night. Let's just get down every night at this time. And you know what? I'll probably promise that I'll do it 7 days a week. Why not? Why not? What do I do? Do I go to clubs? No, I stay home. I eat my food. I stay at home, do my work, just try to build my house and live a nice, peaceful life, drama-free. But anyway, let's talk about this. Not even just what you heard. That was just an introductory to get your butts in the seats. Reese, Head Knot and Sons. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. Deborah, how are you? How are you, sweetheart? I'm glad to see you here on the YouTube side of things. So we're not going to keep it boring. I'm going to show my face tonight. Let me just ask you a good question. You want to hear more right now before I start, Reese? That's really not the topic, but it's something kind of, I should have saved that for that conversation, right? But I didn't. I just wanted to kind of jolt everybody and shock everybody right now. Let me ask you a question. Hat or no hat? I found this old, dusty SCURV hat. I'm not going to wear this thing. I'm like, I used to walk around with this, right? Talk about an identity problem. Let me just kind of smooth down my bald head. How do I look? How do I look? Coming up on 60 in a few months, 2 months, right? But anyway, you fell in love with the representative, but divorced the reality. I got a no hat. That's right. That's right. I love my bald head. Used to catch a lot of blows, right? Wow. What is that? This is the case most of the time from what I'm hearing. And I'm going to be on the chat room big time. Yes, I am. I'm going to put it right there so I could see it. Turn this down. Yes, no hat. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Brown Sugar, Deborah. You know, I was hiding. That's the incognito Negro with my name on the front of it, right? Wow. I don't know the statistics. I'm not going to say I was going to sit up here and research this whole show about relationships because statistics change and people lie, right? So you're never really going to get a full a full consensus of what is going on out there. And it's not just about cheating, it's about deception. So if you saw in the title, or actually the banner, because the banner is not always going to have the full title because there's too many words. But what I said here was immaculate deception. Immaculate deception. And you see a man pulling off his wedding ring, right? This is a nightmare for most women who have husbands. This is a nightmare for most women who have a man that they think highly of. Oftentimes and sometimes, we're not going to sit here and blame the woman and say, well, if she was doing right, the man, because some men are going to do what they want to do anyway, right? And you just have to be careful. I was speaking to someone a couple of days ago, good long conversation. I'm not going to say the name, I'm going to keep it discreet. And she was saying how she is really apprehensive about getting in a relationship because of those immaculate deceptions, okay? And we usually fall or fell in love with the representative, but you eventually divorce the reality when you find out what the reality is. And so now what is the reality? Is it a reality where it's a one-size-fits-all situation? No. We have so many different ways of immaculate deception, right? That it would be too much to list. So this is why I'm going to have to draw on my experiences, personal situations that I've seen around me, and even some of my own situations that I've experienced myself. Because when I come out here, I try to be as transparent as possible. Tonight, I'm in the streets. As you can see in the background, no, I'm not really in the street, but that's the kind of feel I want to have. That's the kind of feel I like having, because we're out in the street sometime, you leave the restaurant, you're not really ready to go home, and you're talking with somebody, and you're having that conversation before you all get your Ubers, your corresponding Ubers to go on home. And it's like you can really drop some real nitty-gritty stuff, especially after you come out of the restaurant, your stomach is full, right? Let me get a sound check. I guess the sound is okay. And if for some reason we have a power outage, just know that it would sit here like this for a second, and I'll be back through my phone, because there's a knack for that in this particular area. But when I get up in the mountains, you're not going to see too much of that, right? But I got to roll with what I have. Now, I'm going to start off with what we spoke about, the young lady, and I'm going to springboard off of that and just freestyle. And we'll have more little clips to play, and I'll play some more of that. That was really a specific thing. That's a topic I'm going to touch on in this particular show. But she said, and I heard many women say, right? They don't want to be involved with nobody. If they're involved with somebody, it better be on the shadow of a doubt. But I say, and this is not just a man thing where I'm getting on the brothers. There are women out here who are deceptive, but I'm only going to speak about it because I know many brothers a certain way. And in the past, I've been a certain way. You know, I was a wild something when I was young. So I know all the tricks on being a person who is deceptive, but I really wasn't deceptive because I was straight up honest. But I do know the tricks from running with people who were hardcore guys who were straight up. It's like they just like to be deceptive, Be straight up. And if that's what you're looking for multiple women, tell them. Because chances are they got multiple men. Be honest. Be honest. You know, people knock the brothers in defense of the brothers out here who are doing all this crazy stuff. Who are they doing it with? They're doing it with other women who are usually in the same position for whatever reasons we tell ourselves, right? But one of the biggest things, I'm just going to go jump right into it. One of the biggest things that a lot of women are worried about these days, it's about their man, their potential man, or their husband being on the down low. That is like something that I can't understand. And with that, I hope the LGBTQ, elemental P, HIV. Oh, did I say that? Oh, now they're going to get mad at me. It's letters, right? It's real. You know, the deception, the lying about that. to say, well, you know, I'm in love with you. There's nobody else. And here you are. You sniff the signs of the man who's cheating, right? And you're like, oh my God, he's cheating on me. I think I just see the signs. I know it. He's cheating on me. And you find out it's a man. Another man is beating my time. Another man is loving mine. Remember that song from the early 80s? The early 80s was 40 years ago. And this has been going on. But people are getting hip to it. This whole show is not going to be about that. We're going to talk about some different things. But that's one of the biggest things now. And really and truly, to a lot of our sisters, it's embarrassing. It's straight up embarrassing. It's like, it's one thing to tell your girlfriends, you know, that your man cheated on you. But then you find out it's another man. See, I just want to tell my sisters, don't feel bad and think that it's something lacking in you with you. Because that's the first thing. Cheated with a man? No, something's up with him. He's the one who desires the man. But then again, he's using you as a beard. Or maybe he's just using you as a front. Because to me, you better just go ahead and, if you want to mess with a man and you a man, just come out and say, this is what I am, and deal with what society throws at you. We know they're pushing that. But you see, the down low brothers, I can't see how the LGBTQ community could even defend them. Because now you're defending their deception. They may like the same thing you like, but you can't stop me or get mad at me for being mad at that. Why are you lying to your woman? If that's not what you want, don't waste her time, right? You fell in love with the representative, but divorced the reality. You said the right things. You obviously treated her a certain way. You made her feel a certain way. You got involved together with your finances and property and mortgage, probably even an apartment, your jobs, your dreams, your aspirations, and you got a dick in your mouth as a man. Now, let me say a disclaimer here. Like I said before, I think I said it on another show. I'm going to say it again. But the new thing now, just like I told a friend of mine 40 years ago to the year, this was 1993, and I told her about this. I told her about the phenomenon of the down low brother. That's always been. We also know that there are women who like women who are down low women. But because a lot of men are like, that ain't so bad. You'll bring her over and have a party. That's how they think. But that woman usually doesn't include that man if that relationship wasn't based on having that type of situation. And it's not always just a sexual thing. It could be emotional, or it starts off on an emotional level. I've seen it. I've experienced. I've been around that. I've seen it. I know a lot of married women who like a little from somebody who has the same thing between their legs. But it always seems to start out with some type of pain or emotional thing, and they're there for each other, and they're sitting around, and all of a sudden it turns into something else. Then everything opens up. So there are a lot of them out there like that. But I'm going to say it now again with my face in the camera. We know everything is going on in the world, but this is something that's growing. Aside from the down low women. And I'm going to say it again, because people talk to me. I get a lot of emails. I get a lot of phone calls. I'm going to get a lot of phone calls off of this one. They're going to be like, yo, Lance, you just don't know what I've been going through or what I found out. Listen, I don't blow up names, so feel free to let me know what you're going through. If you want me to talk about something, and we'll tackle it. Also, let me know if you want to call in anonymously or with your name, and I'll connect the phone up and we'll roll that way if you want to add anything in, or even drop the link and join me here with your face if you want to. The more enthusiasm we have in this show is the longer I'll stay on, because God knows I have a lot of work to do tonight also, right? But again, I'm going to start doing the shows at this time. I love it because I can do it, and if I'm tired, I can just go on and rest. But when I'm caught up in the daytime, All the things that I do, get a phone call. Oh, I got to cut it short. Okay, boom, whatever. No, I can't do that. And I will be in the bed at night. But yeah, the new thing, which is not new, I'm telling you, and this is a bit disgusting to some people. Better watch your woman, fellas. Or maybe there's some women who are going to let you know. There was a young lady on my bus years ago when I used to drive for Lynx in Orlando, Florida, as a bus driver, right? And this ear right here used to hit. This might as well have been a satellite dish on the side of my head. The things I heard, I'm telling you the things I heard. I had to leave that job. I left a little early. I could have stayed to retirement age, so-called, but I still retired much early. And they said, man, you know, you're a good driver. You might as well just stay and get a little, no, I can't take it no more. I'm hearing too much. And when I heard this young lady say, and I knew her, right? And she was sitting there. She said to a girlfriend, not talking loud, but loud enough because we knew each other, and she was trying to bring me into the conversation, and I was trying to play like the butler. I'm trying to be like serving the food, I'm cleaning the house, whatever, but I don't hear anything. I'm keeping it discreet. It goes at one ear and goes at the next. And so she's like, Lance, you hear me talking. I'm like, yeah. I'm not in your conversation. I'm trying to block this bad boy out. She says, well, how do you feel about this? I'm going to tell you what I like. I said, what, ice cream, cookies? What you talking about? You know what I'm talking about? We talking about sex. I'm like, okay. She said, y'all men love to fantasize about being in the bed with two women. Some of y'all never get it. Some of y'all get it. And Lance, I heard about you. I know what you was doing back when you were in your 20s. I'm like, how you know that? You got a reputation. I said, listen, I got a reputation now, and it's not that, right? So she said, yeah, they like that, but I like to be with two men. Well, if you're a single lady or whatever, and you want to experience that, there's a lot of women who have expressed that they want. I know women who want that. Can't be mad at you now, can I? I mean, I've done things with two women, right? So I lived that lifestyle for a long time. It's diminishing returns. And these guys think, oh man, friends of mine were like, oh man, you're so lucky. You got a girl that is down with that. I'm like, don't think it's all that. It might be a mental rush in the beginning, but you know what she told me? She says, yeah, my next man is gonna, how can I say this without being lewd? He's gonna love oral sex just as much as me. I said, well, what's wrong with that? Isn't that like somewhat mandatory? You know, nobody wants to be with somebody like, okay, do me, but I'm not going to do you. Right? Nah. I said, what's strange with that? She says, no, you don't understand. I said, tell me. You didn't draw me. You drew me in this conversation. Tell me what it is. She said, no. And he's going to have to love giving just as much as I love giving. I said, listen, let me concentrate on my job, and you wasted my time. And the girlfriend was giggling because she knew. So I said, come on, what are you really trying to get at? Well, when I'm going down on a man, okay, I'm thinking you're a man, right? I want my man to be going down on him too with me. I'm like, oh, you said what? Wait, run it back. There's another man here. You said a man, and you said your man. Let me figure this out. So wait. She giggling. She said, no, you don't want it. I want it too. I said, wait, there's a man in your bed with you, and you're doing the man, and you want your man do, yeah, and taking turns. God, that was back 2017, 2018. I left the job in 2019. I said, well, how do you feel about your man if he's into that? Oh, I love it. We can have all kind of adventures. I'm like, nah, man. I'm not gonna assess you or judge you, but that's a bit much. So what about this other dude? Well, he'll be our friend. I don't mind if I come home and see my man with him. It's like, yo, there's something coming loose with the fabric. I mean, I can't say or judge or say anything as wild as I've been, but my thing has only been women. I knew a couple women who were talking some stuff like that way back in the day, like, you know, so what, you know, what if? You know, man ain't gonna be around me. I'm not lying. I'm just, hey, come on over and do, no, what? Me? Nah. Just even the thought. That's crazy. Ladies in the chat room, how would you feel? I mean, what if your man brought that idea to you? Not that you want that, but how do you feel? Let's spice up. Let's spice up the chat room here, right? Okay, these are old. Okay, these are old. Okay, I don't know which one you responded to. You said you'd move to a new town, Reese, but let me know. You know. Okay. Chef Sean, you'll be back? I mean, like, you're into that? Let me know. When you integrate with your enemy, you'll soon begin. Exactly. You'll soon begin to imitate them. This is what integration did to our people. We're soon going to see black men and black women deep into bestiality. We're soon going to see them into all kind of crazy things. But what is it about that made me understand that something's off here? Very intelligent, Deborah Pritchett. Not happening. That's right. Not happening. Right. You'd not be together anymore. But wouldn't you be a little angry if, like, because, okay, if you're not like that, but that's the situation, your man brought that to you, you wouldn't be with him no more, right? I mean, it's just one little thing I want to poke on, because that is something I'm going to tell you straight up that's ever growing. There are a lot of sisters who are going to see this in the beginning or have it forwarded to them, and they're going to be like, I'm like that. I want that. So many men out here will not admit that they wanted to ever try going to bed with two women, but they want it. And there's so many women who think of these things, but would never say it. Women these days watch just as much, if not more, porn than men do. Now, different statistics may say slightly different things, and if it doesn't say that, there are more women watching it than ever before. That's a fact. But some studies say that more are watching that than men. Could you imagine? But we got to understand, what is it that drives us to this? And when we see these things in images on the screen, you got to understand that it's like looking at the menu. You can't have everything on the menu at the restaurant when you go that one time, but you can come back and get some more now, can't you? Right? So when you go up there, let's just say it's an American restaurant, not fast food, but semi-fast food. You're going to sit there and eat, but you're not going to sit there for 2 hours laughing and talking with your fam or your friends. They're trying to get you up out of there. You know how they have the vent pointed to take the AC vent, and they turn it up. You're like, ooh, it's getting cold in here. They're trying to get you out, right? But you see, man, hamburger look good in the picture. Oh, man, they got that chicken, roasted chicken. They got fried chicken. They got this and that. Oh, they got pizza too? What? You're not going to eat the hamburger, the chicken that's roasted, the fried chicken, the breakfast menu, the pizza. You're not going to eat it all at one time. But guess what? You're eating the hamburger, talking about, next time I come, I'm going to have some of that chicken. You know you do that. That's why it's your favorite restaurant, because you like what you see on the menu. So when you see these images watching adult movies, things are being imprinted into your head. And if it's something that you're stroking yourself to, let's be real, y'all. Y'all don't sit up there and say, well, I'm just watching this to see. This is like the Human Nature channel. No. You got the door locked. If you live by yourself, it ain't locked. You know what you're doing. Mary Palmer, right? Or whichever way. We're not going to go there. But now you have this other thing imprinted in your head, and this is why it's so dangerous. And so we have things that we like within the constraints of a relationship that we're even too ashamed to admit. And so if you don't communicate and these things are raging in your mind, you're too embarrassed to go to your mate. Now I'm talking about hetero stuff within the hetero world. I'm not talking about any other thing. But even those things, you're afraid to say what it is that turns you on. So you secretly get off in your mind thinking the thing that you like, but you can't tell your mate. Well, maybe if you told your mate, you could work something out. Baby, I love when, you wear them sexy glasses and that lipstick when you're taking care of me. Something about that. You know what I mean? Why can't we be real with each other? Why can't we have it all at home? Why do we have to lie? Especially the brothers and the sisters, but the brothers, because many times they're the ones out there doing what they do. We have a lot of women out here cheating and it's not just about cheating either. Because we can have not only physical affairs, we can have emotional affairs that are just as intense. You see, I should have made a poll. I'm going to start doing that, but I want to talk to the ladies right now. What hurts more? I don't know if you have a man, don't have a man, a friend, or I don't know. So I'm not saying that or trying to say that you don't or whatever. But when I say, assuming you have a man, times you've had a man, but let's just get out of the personal space and just think theoretical now, right? And let me know in the chat room. I would think in a cheating situation, when you have a man who cheated on you, right? And you found out about it, but you knew, and I'm not making no excuses, I'm just painting the picture here, just listen to me, right? And you knew that he was in the service or away for a while. Let's paint that picture. That still don't make it right. Understood. But he's in a situation where he's away from you for months, and he was drunk, and he was somewhere, and something happened one time. Not the one time they tell you. Oh, it was only one time, but you did it. But this really was one time, and he tells you the dynamics of it. That it was some fast chick who, I'm not saying she was a prostitute per se, but it was some kind of exchange where he did her some kind of favor and she returned the favor that way. It was one time, and it was like, that's not gonna hurt as much as you finding out that not only was he having sex with another woman multiple times, maybe years and years, but it was emotional also. That's got to be more devastating to me from what I've heard speaking to young ladies out here. When I say young lady, I'll call you old lady when you're over 100 years old. So if you're under 100, you're a young lady. So don't think I'm just saying young lady, that you got to be in your 20s or something like that. Because once you hit certain ages, boom, you're like, I still feel like a young lady, but damn, time flew. Look, I still feel like a young man, but time flew. It's okay. I'm young at heart. Age is just a number. We got to start saying those things more so now, right? But I would think that would hurt when a woman would imagine, because it hurts for a woman to imagine that he went to bed with this woman and she don't want to know, but she wants to know. Did you put your mouth on her? Did you do the things to her that you did to me? So this one time fleeting thing was quick and it was done. And I'm not condoning it. All I'm saying is that wouldn't it hurt more to know that he carried on for many years and the woman says, the wife says, did you tell her that you loved her? And he's like, yes, I did. So you love this woman? Yes. Because she got his text and talk about the love and oh, I wish I was with you. And that's got to stab deeper. Tell me, am I correct, young ladies? Am I correct? In the chat room, let me know. I'll keep talking, but I want to hear how you feel about that. If the one-time thing, which shouldn't be, I'm not saying accept that or it's any less, it's still going to hurt. But that other thing has got to hurt more. And it's got to hurt more when you realize it's one of your girlfriends, it's one of your neighbors, it's somebody in your church that you know and smile with, and she smiles back, and it's like, that's a double stab. Let me hear. Yeah. Now, Reese, I'm not saying that you will accept that one-time thing. That's going to hurt too. But to know that it's physical and also emotional has got to be devastating. I should grab a mic over here and let somebody who's walking past me get on the mic. No, but she ain't going to do that. Right. Yeah. I'm buff. So let me know if I blinked out so I can get a gauge on maybe to bring down the resolution of the screen. See? So we have so much that we got to concern ourselves with in that respect. But why do people, like the title says, you fell in love with the representative but divorced the reality, right? Why do we have to hide the reality? I mean, if you purchase a used car, you want the previous owner to tell you everything that he had problems with, because he's selling it for a reason. Sometimes it's not always where they're selling it for a profit because it was the problem. Maybe he doesn't want to drive anymore. He's getting older. Somebody gifted him with another vehicle, and he's going to let it go at a fair price. He's going to let you know that the transmission needs work. He's going to let you know that it was in an accident and got hit, but he fixed the body. He'll tell you all these things. And if they do that, then, you know, you can come down in the price to compensate for the damage that was done. You got a realistic outlook on this relationship because the person came clean with you. But why the deception? You're going to find out anyway. And marriages would last a lot longer if you tell them straight up, this is what it is. So our sisters don't have to worry about, oh, is my man down low? You might be one of those who like that. And that would be a plus for you. I don't understand it, but to each his own. But we know, like was said earlier, that whenever we have integrated with them, which is a done deal now, we take on the habits of the oppressor. That's just the way it is. And I don't think there's any turning back from that collectively as a Black nation worldwide. I do think that it's more prominent in the UK and America and whatever little spotty areas in the world where we're up with them. It's just like a person who, like my father transitioned. He's Jamaican, but he had been in America for so long. And he was a conservative Jamaican. He wasn't one of these clown Jamaicans. Yeah. Because these days, you know, you watch these videos and it's like, you know, people reflect what the impression is. And it's not all. It's the minority, but that imagery has been pushed out. Oh, your father's Jamaican. Oh, bumbleclot, man, weed. That's the first thing out their mouth. Like, that's all you know them for? And there's some who push that, who are. Right? But whenever he would go back to Jamaica to visit, he would come back and his accent was stronger. I don't know how many people here know Marvelous Marvin Hagler. He's another one who transitioned within the last few years. He was a great middleweight champion in boxing and born and raised, I believe, on the East Coast, but he did most of his training, most of his fights. He represented Brockton, Massachusetts. Okay. Black man, 100%. Or if you want to say, you may say African American, I'll say American African. Okay, that's the way we should say it, right? And after his boxing career was over, he moved to Italy, and he started to get an Italian accent, straight up. And he wasn't even, it just happened. I don't know whether he had an identity crisis, whatever, but I'm just too full of me to look. I'm in Accra, Ghana right now. I don't have an African dialect of the native Africans that were here. My speech and my voice and my New York accent, I tone it down a little bit, but it's there. I don't tone it down on purpose to hide. I'm proud of my upbringing. I'm proud of the city that I've been raised up in. There's no way I could be me if I wasn't born and raised in that place, because I learned so many experiences there. It put me more so than schooling. It put me higher in my perception of human nature because I've had so many dealings with them. So when you hang around people so much, depending on how porous you are as a person, meaning that the voids are not filled up, trust me, you'll begin to emulate your environment. But that is not the only thing that we have to concern ourselves in these relationships. And I'm going to play a little clip and I'm going to show it. Let me see. I want to play it. Let me get this right. And let's see. Can I do it that way? Let me play it. Let me go to the next screen and start it. Let me know if you can hear the sound in the chat room. Let me know if you can hear the sound. It should come through, but no problem. Okay. They just stay at the diner and witness this. I'm going to continue on. Yo, it's always some white woman getting involved in something. They need to just be quiet and don't push their nose. Because look, if it was gunshots and fighting and stabbing, she should have kept her nose up out of it. For real. Now, if that was somebody close or whatever, because they don't know the dynamics, who knows? But stay out of that. That could have been a potentially explosive situation. But the bottom line is that these are actors and these are people who are reacting to this. Because how is a white man going to show up? I mean, or any man, and you want to down low? What does he want? A scene? Show up like that? He's been following you or something, and then how did he know to run in? I mean, if this was a real situation, when the woman went to the bathroom, how long is she going to be in there? Is she got a sick stomach or something? And he going to still kiss the dude? There's a lot of holes in that, story. But let's continue. I swear, that's a church lady right there. That's a church. That's a church lady. Girl. Everybody going to church going to know about that one. That's a church lady right there. Not knocking church ladies because we have some here, but that one there, you see how she has her hand to cover up her mouth so that nobody knows what she's talking about and them little glasses? She probably don't even need glasses. All right. We got that much. Anyway, I'll play another clip a little while like that. We have a little fun. Hey, church ladies are good. They serve their purpose, We'll just curse her out the way. We've all been privy to certain things, and it's not always down low, brothers. It's not always freakish desires that we want to fulfill that we don't tell people about. But like I said in the title, you fell in love with the representative, but divorce the reality. The reality may be that the man, and it may not, all this holds true for the women also. We could flip the script, right? But I'm not going to do two shows concurrently and come back with the same show and just flip it. Human nature being what it is, this can be either side. I'm not going to say it's more the man or not. To me, it's kind of even these days. The temptation is there. And people say, well, why didn't you discuss? Everybody's not going to discuss stuff. The representative, y'all. And lots of times, both people are showing their representative. There are people who may show more of it in the relationship than the others. And those who are hurt by getting to know and falling in love with a relationship in that person of the opposite sex, how much of your representative did you show? And regardless as to the representative, you need to sniff around these days and find out everything. Look, and I'm a man, so I'm speaking to women. You are giving this man your total commitment. You're giving this man, and again, this is for the men who had deal with women and men back. I'm not going to say it no more, and I'm going to blow you up in the comment section if you don't understand it. But you're giving this man your vagina. I mean, you could be giving him your ear, your nose, your mouth, whatever, any orifice. It could be, look, that reminds me, it may not be an orifice. I knew of a dude who, his fantasy with his woman, right? I'm gonna tell this one, right? For her to get on her knees, no, not to do the thing that you think. Get on her knees, put some Vaseline up under her arm, and he would stand behind her. She'd lift up her arm, and he'd put his penis under the arm from behind. Now she's on her knees, he's standing up, and he says, okay, baby, act like you're running real fast. Oh, we know how that went. To each his own. I know a lot of crazy things in my head, but it's not always a sexual thing. It could be where that individual, that spouse, potential spouse that becomes your spouse has extreme financial issues. And you didn't look into that. This guy can owe lots of money, an old loan, child support, prison fees or something with the courts, owing lawyers money. You go to buy a house together and you find out you didn't check. Now, it's not like you're marrying this man or woman for money, but you didn't think to ask about that. You didn't think to go and check his physical health. Maybe he's low-key HIV. Maybe he has herpes. That's your choice. If you understand and learn this, and you say, okay, I understand this. I love you. I think you're a great person. I still want to move forward, but at least let the person have their choice. It's very selfish when we present the representative and it's not the reality, because in due time, you will find out. You'll find out. And it hurts. You want to buy a house with this person. You can't really quite buy it yourself. Now, there are individuals who can. I'm not knocking anybody on either side. But when combined, it's supposed to be where, wow, we're synergistic in our combination. Again, it should not be where it's two people becoming one, because that means you're 50% of a person. If the both of you add up to being one person, then that means when you split, hopefully you don't. You find yourself weakened. You find yourself upset. Oh, I lost myself. I gave so much to him. No, you reduced yourself to give him room, thinking that you can become one. Isn't it better to still be two individuals who have an overlapping goal and you're still whole? That's like almost saying, I love you and you love me. Let's hold hands and jump off the cliff. What kind of mess is that? You won't have any life now, would you? Any person in their right mind is going to want you to be fully who you are. I'm not going to want you to stop doing the things that you do, as long as it's not disrespectful to me, but the things that bring you joy. Like, I've kind of found that I like doing this stuff here online, right? I did this stuff for 22 years in one form or another. But I also promised myself I'm going to get into my kid phase. I'm a grown, responsible man, raised kids, married, all that stuff. But I like to ride my bike. I like to ride my one-wheel bike, my unicycle. I like to draw. I like to listen to music. I like great conversation. And I've never been stopped in my pursuit of doing those things that bring me joy, because each person has to be completely happy within themselves, no matter what it is. Men, when you meet your woman and you marry her, try to figure out the things that she really, really likes. Don't even ask her. Observe. And if she likes to go and maybe get a nice outfit every now and then and put on the dress and dolly up herself, and she's not even going nowhere, she just wants to see how she looks in the dress, and she comes out in front of you, that's a call to give a loving assessment. Because maybe her father never gave her that attention. Maybe she didn't have a father. Maybe she had to work from very young to take care of young children and work hard and lost out on that time where she can get into her femininity. Maybe she worked in a warehouse or some good paying job that was just a rough type man's job, and she sacrificed and she missed out on that. Take her out and show her off. Not in a bad way, like some pimp mentality. I'm not talking about half naked, but let her dress up decent and let her catch you looking at her. You know what that would do for her? And women, the things that maybe a man needs, give it to him. And it's not just sexual. Because oftentimes, when a man strays, no, not all the time now, I'm not going to make no excuses, but there's a slice of men who are in relationships who are not respected, who are not made to feel as a man. Now, we shouldn't wait around. I'm going to wait for this woman to treat me. But if you don't, and it's the home front, it's going to chisel away, because that's your refueling center or station when you come home. Do you come home and not put your phone on the charger because you had it with you all day? And for both in the relationship, you both need to be able and come home to recharge with whatever it is that you need. This is why not only do you ask the person, which is really, you might not get an answer. They may not even know all the way. But if you observe them and know their background, then, and why am I saying this with such a title? Because you can chisel down at the representative. There are people out here who don't want to burden the other person. And to the other person in the relationship, it's a joy for you to come with the things that pain you. It's a joy to come, or you to come to me, to lean on me. That makes me feel like a man. I remember a very short relationship. It wasn't something that was just a physical thing. It was a relationship. But when I look back, it was her who had the more physical thing in her mind because of those dynamics of how I looked, and I was youthful, and she was a little older than me, a lot older than me, right? But her mother was really sick. And I wasn't driving at the time. I had my license, but I was really into the city life where you didn't need a car when you're living in Manhattan, which I wasn't. I was living in Queens, but I was always in Manhattan working, hanging out, whatever. You come back to Queens, the Queens boys who just stay out there, they're like, oh man, I gotta get a car. When you're up there, you're like, I hop on the train, go uptown. You know how many celebrities and rich people I saw on the train that lived in Manhattan that didn't want to take a cab? Boom. I did a short video on Martina Navratilova when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I remember hopping in the subway and I'm like, I know that lady. She winked at me. I was like, Martina. And she was like, and she got off and just gave me a thumbs up. I've seen all kind of celebrities. You know, Manhattan's that way, but a lot of times you don't really spot these people. They may have a hat on. Like I started the show with my old dusty, rusty SCURV hat. People said, take off. Right? But I don't know how I got to this point, right? But I'm going to bring it right on back in. We don't really know the voids that the other person has. And lots of times on the flip side now, think about it this way. We know the voids and we try to cover them up to perfect ourselves as far as our imagery to that next person. It's almost like the guy who talks about all the time when he ain't got nothing going on down there, right? It's almost like the guy who talks in a way like he's a tough guy, knowing that he is not equipped to fight, knowing that he's scared of fighting, knowing that he is not a fighter. And you'd be surprised who are fighters and tough guys out here, and they don't even have to say anything. So why walk around talking about how you do this and how you do that, or how you're a gunman and how you do? Shut up, little boy. Shut up. You're making yourself look stupid. But like I always like to say, there's so many of us that work hard to be or appear to be the real thing, when in actuality, we are not. And that energy would be better spent if we worked on ourselves and faced our voids, so we don't have to live a secret life or a double life, and we can come clean with our mates. But there are a lot of people out there that have not worked on their finances. You know, you fell in love with the representative, not because of money, but because I don't care who you are as a woman. I don't care. You can make it on your own. You can have your mortgage, your home, your condo. You can have 2 or 3 cars. You can have, look, I'm not against that. I'm not against that. I love to see that. But don't do it where you're resentful when you achieve this. Like you're mad at everybody. If you have these things, it should be nice and wonderful. But at the same time, there's no woman within her right state that doesn't love a man who can secure her. And even still, even if she makes more than you, but you make a little something too, she knows that, wow, we together and I got that little bit there too. So anybody who puts a demand on someone, well, you got to be making high 6 figures and you got to be making, then you're not focusing on the person. You're not vibing with the person. I mean, this modern day society has us all screwed up when it comes to relationships. And I'm not here to tell you what you should do or what you're supposed to do. That's your choice. If your shoes look funny to everybody else when you're walking down the street, you chose those shoes, you like them shoes, you wear those shoes proudly. Somebody out there likes them too. Let me start popping some of these comments right now. Indigo King, yes, you're recharging right now. That's the best way to do it. And to know that you're recharging, right? Let me run it up here. I got all kind of things popping up on the screen. Let me see. I know I missed a few. Indigo King, if you know how to ask the right questions, you can get the real within 30 days. You just have to be discreet. That's right. I'm feeling that. And Brother Kwame, I was married, but what happened? My ex listened to her so-called friends too much and concentrated on our marriage. That's another damn thing. You know, when you fall in love with somebody who it's not the representative, it's the real thing, but you got too many damn people up in your business and it's only entertainment for them. They like to put their finger in your stuff and just twist it up, put all kind of things in the head. Leave it alone. That's the best way to jack up a relationship, is when one of the people keep listening to stuff. And I want to say it this way. I have nothing against single women, but there's no single woman out there, unless she's an elder with experience that has been through a relationship, marriage, or multiple situations, where she is qualified to give information. But these young single women, and when I say young, I'm better will say some people in your same age group, if you're young, want to give advice. You're single. And single's not a curse. You can give good advice. I know Sister Master Glam here can give some good advice, whether she's single with somebody, because she knows life. So we have to exclude, I'm not saying everybody, but the general amount of these women out here who are single, giving a married woman advice. Oh, you better just leave him alone. If he put his hands on her, that's good advice. If he's been cheating on her, that's good advice. But if it's something in the gray area, and these single women are saying, oh, you need to leave him. If it's nothing life-threatening, if it's nothing that's damaging your emotional, but he has a little habit or something he does that kind of bothers you, but it's nothing to destroy a marriage, that's part of the work you have to do. If I'm a fighter and I don't know how to deliver my right hand, I need to work on that. But I'm almost there. I can throw the left, but the right, it may not even be a problem with the right. Maybe I'm standing the wrong way, not to shift my weight the right way, to put all my weight behind the punch. A small technicality that other frustrated people blow up even bigger because they're frustrated. And it doesn't mean that if you are a single woman that you are frustrated. You want to be that way for the time. You're not ready, or you don't want to involve yourself in that for the time. But you know a good thing if you see it, that you have the possibility of speaking to this person if they appear to have the attributes, but you may not be where you want to be. You understand? There's so many different variables with this thing. So it's not a one size fits all. And I'm not here to bash any person at all. Because you know you have these channels and platforms. Yeah, single black women. You have so many different types of single black women in different categories, in different mindsets. The mindset that you're in now, you may not have been in that mindset 20 years ago. You may have met that person that fits with you perfectly now. But 20 years ago, you thought they were a jerk. 20 years, I'm saying 30. I can say 30. I can say 40 at my age. But I know whatever it is at that time, you could be 25 watching this. Of course, you ain't going to go back no 20 years. You wasn't 5 years old like, he has good attributes. Maybe I'll get into a relationship. You know what I mean? I saw a young kid on Facebook. Relationship status. What did they say? What did they say? It's questionable or something funny. Like, you're too young to be in something like that. It's complicated. That's what it was. It's complicated. How you gonna be 9 years old with a Facebook page about relationship status is complicated? Come on. Your boyfriend didn't buy you cookies and pretzels for lunch or something like that? It's crazy. Wow. I'll jump back up. Let me see this here. Past certain things. Right. Exactly. I keep my friends that I'm in intimate relationships. We don't even talk now. Oh, well. But see, that's good, Master Glam, because you don't talk now. What if you were, sharing certain things that should have really been kept? And again, look at this stereotypical situation where a woman, I'm not saying you, because it's the whole categories, but she tells her girlfriends how good he is in bed and all the freaky little things that he does and how he makes her feel. And them single girlfriends like, oh, really? Tell me more. Really? Wow. And they don't have to be single either. They could be married too and want to sample the goods, right? That's putting him in a bad situation. He could be a good man. And if he's a good man, nothing's going to change his mind on being faithful to you. But there are situations now where either one can weaken the resolve of their mate, where these constant pressures that are in the world can seep through. Sometimes, especially out here in Ghana and even in Florida when I lived there, you leave the house and it's like, okay, let me close the windows. It might rain later on. I don't see any forecast of any rain. I'm only running down to the corner. You got bars on the window or whatever. Nobody's going to come in, but I'll leave them open. And you leave. You get in the supermarket checkout line and you hear this lightning and thunder. Boom, boom. You get outside, you look. I live over there, but I hope I see the clouds coming from over on this side. But no, they're right there. I got to hurry up and get home. And it looks like the dark clouds are over my house. And I know it's going to be wet inside. Why leave yourself open by talking about the intimate things of your life, even when it comes to your finances, when you're doing real good? Not everybody's going to feel good for you. They'll smile like they are, but they're mad at you now because it's not like that for them. True friends don't think against each other like that, but how many are true? So you have to be careful, especially if you are a woman who says, or you weaponize the vagina. Weaponize vagina. on the next Oprah Winfrey show. And now you're punishing him for something that is not even something, just some pet peeve he has, but you punishing him for that. And it doesn't mean like weaponized vagina is going to affect him like him not eating, because you'll go get something to eat. But when it comes to that, and it's not just about that, but why are you doing this? Which shows me there's a situation, something else going on. It's not like I'm just, and how can you do this if you're into him and need that connection? That's a wicked thing to do. If he's been cheating, if he says he hasn't been, but you still feel so, talk to him about it. Don't sit there and I'm just going. Because you know what? It's just like those dudes out there. There are a lot of, look, whenever you see a bad man or a bad woman, there's something that happened to them with the opposite sex that made them that way in the relationship sphere. Unless they had severe trauma and abuse when they were younger, as well as other factors. But we catch our scars. We catch our scars emotionally that people can't see. We can smile. Oh, everything's fine. How are you? Oh, I'm fine. And you're going through a breakup and you're hurt. And you tell somebody you're fine. You might not want to tell them your whole life story. We hold things in. And we do things to our mate that can take a good person and make them susceptible to what they need. They resist, they come to you. And it's not like, let me stick this and everything's gonna be all right. You're usually gonna have underlying problems. But that is an area that you should not. If you're communicating and they're trying, don't let that build up. Because lots of times, if one restaurant is closed and you don't want to communicate, and your mate, whether it's the male or the female in the relationship, is trying to talk, I want to work this out. It's not about what's going on between your legs, but I want the full relationship. Why are you blocking this part? You have resentment toward me? Lots of times, they may have flashbacks on some dude who did something to him in the past, and they take it out on you. Lots of times, good guys finish last. Lots of times, a man comes around with the best intentions to help you heal, and you start taking it out on him. How long do you think that's going to last before the respect comes from the lips of another woman who's not even looking at your man for sex? And this goes for the women too. You keep dissing your woman, putting her down, not opening up. You showed your representative in the beginning, fellas, and now you're cutting her off. You're not complimenting her. You're putting her down, and she put on 20 or 30 pounds. She put on that 20 or 30 pounds, working harder and working extra. And so what if she was eating out of the daggone break room, a snack thing there? See? And she's trying to help build a better life to be for the both of you. And here you all want to be superficial that way. A woman can keep her body nice, but there's certain circumstances. The time of the grind, you're trying to get this money for this down payment on the house. And yeah, she can go to the gym, but she's too tired. If you're working 16 hours a day, let 6 months go by. It's easy to put on some weight. Here you are worried about her little belly that can easily come off when things are cleared, and you're making her feel bad. But there's always that dude on the job in the break room who may say, you may have put on a little weight. You may go to him and say, oh, have I put on weight? And you got to stay away from talking to these men like that outside too, because you're going to find yourself in trouble. But he's going to tell you, no, you're still beautiful. A little 3 months, you can lose that weight. What is he talking about? I would love to have a woman like you. Now she looks for reasons to find herself in that break room because he's feeding her what she wants to hear. And she's been trying with you. She's not a representative. but she also has needs like you do. And why are you acting that way? Don't you have needs? These blockages. We got a blockage we inflicted on somebody else because of what's going on here and in here in your past. That's like someone told me that when children, young children, like young, single digit ages, young, hold on to their feces and their urine, which inevitably will come out. You can't fight that forever. But when they hold on to it, it's because they have an issue with their mother. I don't know that like that. I know, psychology and all that stuff from reading books, but that was one from someone who was much deeper in it than I. So I don't know if that's true or not. But if that is true, or even if it's not true, what I know is that so much is interconnected with us this way. So even when we think we're being authentic in a relationship or leading up to a relationship, if we don't clean up what's here and here, we really will be a representative. Unless you're transparent to tell them what's going on with you and where you need to clean up. Right? But most of us are not. But we'll be more authentic in our desire to clean up the backyard before we have the cookout. We'll keep that pretty. We have the lights all strung up. Go shopping and get all the chicken and pork and whatever y'all eat. Have the music playing right. Have the house looking nice. Have the big front going on, but you got a big hole in your heart because you're not facing the things that are important. And you use these cookouts and you use the photos on Facebook to put up everything looking so perfect and everything is all right. And it ain't all right. And the word gets around that one of you, either you or your spouse, put a gun to their head and killed themselves. It may not be you. It might be them. Because they know in some of those cases that you love the representative. And you know what? You never knew them. Isn't that sad? And this is what we see out here in social media so much. We see the representative. We put that out. I've never seen so many perfect pictures in my life. Look, I got razor bumps. I don't care. I know where this line came from in my neck. I don't know. Nobody sliced my neck. I'm missing a few teeth. I gotta buy some teeth. Hit me on PayPal. I need to get some teeth, y'all. I don't care. I love me and I'm me. With all my imperfections, I can stand here bold in front of you and bare my soul. And I'm going to have a bare my soul show live. Y'all ask me some questions and I'll tell you the answers. I'm flying free now. I don't want to be at this part of my life and not face the things that are still there, but they shrunk. Like when you shrink a tumor and eventually it goes away. A lot of I still got them little things now. I'm a human. I still got struggles, but I'm on top of them more than I ever been before. And it's not where we're supposed to be perfect. And well, in 1 year, I'm going to work on myself and it's going to be, it's not going to be that way. You might be 70 years old and still dealing with something you dealt with your whole life before. See, it's not like with drugs. Now, I never did drugs, but I know enough people around me in my life to know how it is. They will get off of drugs. Ha, 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 I beat the drug. 25 years go by. Yo, what are you doing, man? You digging in your nose? No, man. I'm just doing this one time, man. Yeah, I'm just doing this one time, man. You know what I'm saying? Because, I had a little issue, right? This is just one time, man. I ain't doing it 25 years, but I'm like, yo, old boy's back smoking that stuff again. It can happen. I've been one in my exploits that I've been like the drug dealer, not the user, But the drug dealer, now I'm not a drug dealer, never been. I'm just using an example. I have to say this because people will slice this up and play it on saying, yeah, Larry said he was a drug dealer. No, I'm not. That'd be a very vicious, evil thing to do. But on the flip side, what I'll say, in those drug dealer and user, I ain't gonna be no user. I know what that can do. And I would not want to be somebody who deals. But if I had to choose one and split hairs, I'm gonna keep my health, right? So in my exploits in my younger years with multiple sex partners that all knew each other and parties that I would throw and all of that, I had control. And when I threw parties for other people that they indulged, I was like the dealer because I'm like, I'm cool. I did indulge in the festivities, usually on my own time, or all right, you stay, let them go. We'll have some fun. But after a while, you start to get high on your own supply. And at some point, I dipped into the world of being an addict on a sexual level. And then sometimes not, but more so in control when I allowed myself to fall out of control. It's like, okay, tonight we're going to lose control. Tonight we're going to get into this. But I started to crave certain things that weren't normal. And it had a hold on me. And the voices start whispering, you're not going to always have it like that, like this. You're trying to stop, but you need to do it one more time. Let's have some fun. And meanwhile, the drones of AIDS and HIV and herpes are flying around. It's like, I'll do this one more time. It ain't gonna happen. You look healthy. Oh boy, I was protected. Never, ever, ever caught anything. That's like dodging raindrops during a hurricane and actually doing it, going back like the Matrix, coming back. And I question myself, why was I so blessed when I know so many people who I've dealt with that are 6 foot under because of those very things? So it's not like getting shot at. But when you get older and realize, wow, time went by. And this happened to that one, and this happened to this one. Let me be cool. And every now and then, something comes and taps you on the shoulder. Remember back in 1989 when you did that thing? Remember back in 1986 when you did that thing? I'm like, get away from me. I can't take no fall right now. The people who come to you, they got that energy in them and they can spot you. They know. Old freaks know old freaks, right? So why am I going to be the representative and not be like, listen, this is what it is with me. This is my struggle, right? But most of us don't want to deal with that. And the person you with is in love with the representative, but they don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So sometimes, and oftentimes, it's not because you're purposely hiding something, but it's still bothering you and you're dealing with it, but you got to come clean with that. And let the person decide if they want to deal with the real you, the reality, instead of falling in love with the representative and eventually divorcing the reality. I'm not going to say that you have to say 99% of it. Yeah, that 1%, I ain't going to tell that one. You know what I mean? Okay, I'm at that point. I'm like, okay, I told you 99%. And it's in the same category, but it might take me 2 years to admit that one. But it won't threaten what we have now. And then a lot of us are afraid to state our requests and our standards because that representative or that person, even if it's the real thing, looks so good. I'm not saying just the physical look, but they got to act together. You don't know this if it's all the way, but you can see. This is why I always say, check. Don't depend on them saying whatever and you believing it. These are the days when a woman needs to go and make you pull out your license. I was going to pull out my license. My license looks so different now. It's a Ghanaian license, right? Pull out your license, run that bad boy. Run your credit. This thing you got here between your legs and in your heart with love and the intellect that you have and the stick-it-to-itiveness to have not fallen into any potholes in life is worth it. It's an investment. You tell them, whether you're a man or a woman, usually it's the woman, I know what I got. I know the value of my love. I know the value of the energy that I bring into your life. This here don't come cheap. It's not like you say you got to pay for sex. This is beyond sex. This is the total you. You let them know my very presence in your life will change how you look at the world. I'm quality for those who are quality. And I'm going to use a word, and I don't mean to call it, but any old skank can't talk like that. See, women know who they are. And you have some women out here who run game when they see your weakness is that thing between the legs. And they don't think that much highly of you if you can't control yourself. But if you're a man who can control yourself and you're driven and you have vision and you have goals and that stick-it-to-itiveness and you know what you're going to do and you can prove through your footprints through the history of your life that this is what I've been doing. This is what I'm working for. Sweetheart, I don't come cheap as a man, but you have to be a man on that level. And if you want to be with me and you got to hang with me, you got to be right. I don't need anybody to play any mind games because my head is straight. If I think that you're playing that and you're not up front, you got to go. The minute, see, we tolerate too much, lots of us, because we don't want to be alone. We'd rather skedaddle around the world with the representative, knowing there's a double life going on, knowing that there's a reality that you don't want to, you don't want to peek into. And we spoke about that at one point on my conversation with a young lady who happens to be here. Don't want to say the name. I don't know if I can, if you want me to say the name, say, Lance, say the name, but that's telling already who you are. And we have this especially in the Black church and in Black culture, but more so the church. You get them old 50, 60, 70-year-old ladies, wigs sitting to the side like a hat. They in the middle of the service. Ooh, my wig messed up. Okay, let's put it aside, whatever. Baby, you know you coming up on 30. You ain't married. I'm not making fun, right? But we know folks from the South, we all one. We just have different accents, and especially when you're in America. You're up north, you talk a certain way, you're down south. We got to understand that those states, they have their own culture, language, slang, and we ain't making fun. But there are a lot of Southern church ladies that married is a one-syllable word. They don't say married. Married. Like it's like the way you say it, who want to be married? Like you getting up, the time running on through now. I'm 73 years old. I've been married for 50 years. But your husband got 17 babies he made on you. Your husband's a damn alcoholic who beats you. Some have men that they marry, they stand up and say, I want to thank the Lord for being married for the last 35 years with no problems. But that Negro didn't work. He didn't work. He didn't seek to earn. It's not just about money, but damn, how you gonna be a man and not have a way to earn no money? Yeah, she should support you if you're a good man and you fall into a rut where maybe there was no work for a time. And you're visibly frustrated and looking or trying to create. But some of these women in church have these men that they're married to, and they put on a good suit that she bought. She holding it down, and he's standing, and she wants him to act like the man. Oh, go on, baby. Just take the keys and you drive in a car that she purchased. So it's not always just sex. You can be married to a straight bum. And some women call men bums and it's not warranted. So I'm not going to use that word like just men are bums because we have some bum behind women. And I'm not going to say believe, but I enjoy seeing the traditional roles play out. But I do understand that times are tough right now. And oftentimes both have to go out and work. I understand that. But at the core in your heart, there are things that a man is supposed to do. And there's certain things that a woman is supposed to do. But if she can't do it because she's working the overnight shift, it's you who have to get up and take those kids to the daycare if you don't have an aunt or a grandmother or somebody in your home. Now we're taking our children to the daycare. We didn't have to do that at one time. It was always somebody in the family or somebody in the community, but we don't have a community no more. So just like that, those factors affect our relationships. And it's so easy to get with somebody who we don't know because usually, I would say, not always, but the way it was back in the day is that you usually got close to somebody who you kind of grew up with, you kind of known. They weren't. Now you can get on these apps, you can get on social media and talk to you in New York and you talking to somebody from California. I'm not saying anything's wrong with that if you're transparent. That's a plus if you know how to use it. But if you don't know how to use the fire in your kitchen that cooks your food, you might burn the house down. Now, wouldn't you? Right? So now we have all of these long distance relationships, all these relationships that break down the barriers. Where before, even though it may have been strict a little bit, you had many similarities in your background. See? So now we enter into things that we don't know the history of the family, which is very important. See, when we had community, we knew that. You know, that's a nice young man, but you know his mama batshit crazy, so you better check his mental. You know what I mean? We knew the history. And then now with technology, it's so easy to be a perfect representative. And both male and female fall for that. And guess what? They don't want to tell you when stuff hits the fan. You ignored the red flags because of the voids that are inside you on how they made you feel. And don't ever come and tell me what she did to me in the bed or what he did to me in the bed. That don't count. Because you got some people who are so skilled in what they do and don't think they can affect you that way. You know, there was a guy, I was hanging out in on 42nd Street. That sounds funny, right? I was hanging out on 42nd. You know, 42nd Street back in the day is not the Disney-fied, clean, you know, back in the day, the 70s, the 80s, especially the early 80s, late 70s, when I started really getting into bodybuilding. I was going into gyms that weren't in my neighborhood. I was training in Brooklyn. I was training in Manhattan. I had memberships in different gyms, and I had some free memberships in different gyms because I would represent these different gyms when I competed, see? And they wouldn't get mad, you know? There were guys that worked or they were in these different gyms that were older than me. I was a teenager, right? And they were late 20s, 30s, going up near 40, early 40s, who were believing in this dream of bodybuilding. And I'm going to be, it was mostly a narcissistic thing because there was no money in it, right? And these guys didn't work traditional jobs. They worked in, not all of them now, they had some good guys that had good jobs, but a lot of them worked as bouncers in late night adult strip joints, peep shows where they had sex shows. You pay for and see people having sex, the movies, all that stuff. And I knew these guys. So if I was in Times Square and I'm walking in the street, let me go over here to Show World and check out my friend Charlie or John, or those are real names. You would never find them. You would never know. You know what I mean? It's decades ago. And they got to be up there. They got to be like 70s, up near 80. A lot of them are not even around anymore. And I'd hang out with these guys. It wasn't like I'm trying to look at, I would go in there if I wanted to and look at the women, but I had no problem that way. So I'm just bugging out that I can post up in a spot like that and hang with the dudes who were bodybuilders, who were they were bouncers. I almost had a job, and I would not do that job because there are times when they had to really throw out guys. They weren't law enforcement. You don't know who's coming back for you. You had to be rough and be convincing to get this guy out. A lot of guys would be on drugs and high, and they gravitate toward wanting to see this women and the energies and stuff like that. And I've seen a lot of weird stuff, right? So anyway, make a long story short, I had just missed it. I was hanging out with them right there. And I got around the corner and heard pop, 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 pop. And I was like, and I heard it stop. People were running away. Friend now. See my screen popping in and out. I hope you didn't miss anything. The guy got shot up. He did something to some woman or something, and he raped her or something like that. And he was running down 42nd Street. The cops were looking for him. He was dangerous. He had a knife or something, and they shot him up. And I think he was high. What was on either angel dust or something they said. But I was standing behind the door right there where it happened. And lots of crowds were there and everything. So I eased up on the wall part and got back with my friends. Were like, yo, man, you just missed it. They shot this guy up and he was laughing while they shot him up. And why do I say this? It's because so many of us who aren't right in the head or right in the heart, who work hard on being that representative, you don't know how driven they are to get into your life. There's some people out here who are playing that representative role who their terminators assigned to you. And on a spiritual level, they may not be the nicest person in the world. They're going to come in your life and wreck you up, mess up your life. You can offer a good situation to them, and they appear to be something that you'd like to have in your life, but they're there to tear, I'm going to say it the street way, they're there to tear your shit up. And you don't realize this until 5 and 10 and 15 years when they start throwing back what the world would call a failure, but you may look at it as a setback. They'll have you looking at yourself so bad, like you're a failure, like you never did anything, like you're no good. And you're saying to yourself, why the hell did you come into my life? Why did you come into my life? This is what you wanted? I had it so good. Why did you do this? We have situations like that where people get into your life and they resent you, and things go good for a little while until they start changing. There are demons out here, y'all. Chances are you ain't gonna see nothing coming at you, but it's in these people. This is why I say, in this modern day, they say modern day woman, but you got modern day men too. They say succubus and you're laying in the bed, or incubus and something's having sex with you. You got people who are so skilled in what they do, they're a succubus looking you right in your eye. Looking at you right in your eye. And you scared about falling asleep and some little demon coming. Better the demon do it to you because he gets his and goes, or gets hers and goes. You hugged up with the succubus after the succubus sucked you off. Let's be real. And it felt so good. Woo! Feel it all in the back of your head. You know what I mean? You waking up, ain't no birds in the neighborhood, but you hear birds singing. Just like when somebody gets clunked in the head on the cartoons, you hear the birds and the stars around their head. Have you walking around like a zombie, following behind them? I wanted to go to college, but you know what? If you say I should work, I will. You put your dreams aside, following behind them, and they keep on sucking and sucking. It doesn't mean just oral sex. It could mean just appealing to you on a certain level. It could be convincing. So you take away your plans for your life, and you just run off in their little dream, and you find yourself in a sorry, sad state of affairs. And you're like, what the heck happened? If you meet a good representative, You need to find out. You need to check that license, run the credit report, see if they was incarcerated, which doesn't mean they were bad if they were. Go deeper into that and find out what really happened. Go thorough on everything, because it's easy getting in and it's so hard getting out. And be careful of these people who want to jump into your life quick. Like that person who's walking down the street and opens up their jacket. It's like, I got gold for sale, man. I got gold rings. I got gold chains. I got gold bracelets, and the gold looks good. You say, how much, man? Just give me $30 for that piece. And you know that piece costs about $400. Why don't he cash in and get some more money for that then? Maybe it's stolen, maybe it's not. But anything that looks too good to be true ain't good. If it's gonna be there, they can tell you, oh, I'll be with you forever. Well, let's take a little bit of that forever and check your ass out. How about that? Because if it's gonna be there, if it's good and it's for you, it's gonna be there. Look how many times, I don't know, in your personal relationships, look how many times we have leapfrogged, some more than others. I know my history. I ain't telling, right? But look how many times we've gone through meeting and anticipating and disappointment and just kept leaping back and forth. And then you find that one. Sometimes you don't. Chill. Let it come to you. Think of yourself as that lamp in the middle of the night in the back porch that shines so bright that all the bugs come to you. Now, you ain't trying to date no bug. There are people who are sexually turned on to insects. That's another show. Shine, be yourself, be brilliant, manifest, be the highest version of yourself that you can be, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And yeah, you will attract a lot of fraudulent entities, right? But you'll be in a better position because there'll be good people out there observing you. And they'll respect you and always demand respect. Don't you ever lower yourself to be disrespected. The minute that the respect is not served at the table, that's one day you get up and you walk out of that restaurant. The disrespect, especially with somebody who, there's ways of saying things without being disrespectful. But as soon as that starts to happen, because why? You know that you're too valuable to settle for that. Because we don't know some of these people, man. They're like shapeshifters. You can know them for years and find out. So don't set yourself up. Make sure that you know who you're dealing with, and it's going to take time. And you take time. You could be around somebody for 2 years sometime and not know. So at first you dig deep. Don't say, I'm going to take my time and stay surface. No. You observe them in certain situations with other people. You find out who their friends are, why they're friends with this person. You see how they interact with their family, if they have a family. If there's nothing that you can gauge on, take longer if you feel that person is worth it. But it's easy to spot a representative when you have a clear head. If you're needy, and we're all needy for love, affection, being accepted, being respected. We are social beings. These men and women, I don't need no woman. And here you are looking at porn at night. You could never get the love from that, but it's just something physical, but you really want the whole thing. And now we're morphing into this social media time. And it's like, it's stripping us away. We want to look good and present this thing to the world, and we see all of this, but we're not getting the nutrition. We're not getting the nitty gritty of what we need from each other. I don't care how much you talk with somebody on that app or on social media, nothing beats a hug from somebody who loves you and knows you. It says, listen, how you feeling? No, look, forget all. Yo, what's really going on? Talk to me. I've noticed some things. A real friend will do that because they're concerned about you. And don't think that men and women can't be friends also, regardless. We didn't choose the genitalia that we have between our legs. And somebody who is really deep can see past that. You could be fine as heck. Especially back up in New York, growing up. I've known some women that dudes just knew, yo, man, you lying to me, man. I know you tapping that, man. Ain't no way you not tapping that. I had friendships that were so wonderful and so close to heart that I can spend the night with a woman, lay down in the bed with her, clothes on or whatever, ain't nothing happening. Who brags about that? Most do, man, I tore them all up and you lying. I'm saying I didn't do things with certain ones because we had a deeper connection. I didn't want to mess it up by doing stuff like that. And some dudes be like, hey, I don't mind messing it up. Look at that lady in the bed. No. Because even though I could have been in those arenas in that time of my life, I still understood that there was always a deeper connection. And as I move toward these years, I see my mortality. And there are things that I thought I desired. I don't need that. I'm good. I'm just glad to be here. It was just a week and a half ago, I got a call. Another one of my good friends passed away. You all know Brother Holla transition. We look at the news and see how these things are happening more and more because we're in this age group, those of us who are in this age group. So for me, it's like, slow it down, enjoy. But keep the people around you who are authentic, whether you're getting married to them, relationship-wise, friendship-wise, acquaintanceship, whatever, on the job. Keep it all real. I have no time to waste. I don't have to be sitting up in a hospital bed, seeing the time tick down. Still alive, but something ailing me. We don't know how we're going to go out, right? Or transition. But I don't want to think about the time I wasted with people who are not authentic in my life. Back in those wilder days, I had a slew of fake people around me because I was the good time guy. There's always women around me. So dudes love me. Hey, man, can we hang out? Negro, you know you ain't hanging out because you like me. You just see what's around me. Now, my phone hardly rings. Back in those days, and that was really before. Cell phones were around, but those bad boys were expensive, right? We had the bootleg phones with my home phone, my phones, all the time. Yo, Lance, what you doing? I'm at home. What you mean you at home? Home chilling. Man, let's go hang out. Because I was a magnet for the things that they wanted. It was easier for them. I mean, they could do what they need to do for themselves. That's just what it was. I was a little crazy. I wasn't timid or afraid to speak to a young lady or whatever have you. And it wasn't even about that. I'm talking to them just like I'm talking to them. And they end up liking you. And you talk and you hang out. And man, how you do that? What you mean how you do that? You looking at the body thinking what you want to think about. That's a person. They might be lonely too. Talk to them. Stop being so hung up that you got to end up in the bed with them every single time that you talk to somebody new. That's why them gay dudes got nothing but beautiful women around them because they're no threat. They ain't trying to get between their legs, but they're giving down a cheapened, watered down version of some kind of masculinity, even behind the sissified. There's still a male behind all of that. That's why a lot of our straight sisters go to them, give me a man's opinion. They don't say, give me a fag's opinion. They say, give me a man's opinion. And they'll give it to them raw. A lot of straight dudes will give the opinion a lie just to get on the good side of that woman because he has the intention of bedding her down. Another representative. As a man, the best friends that you have can be a woman. And other people who think on a low vibration don't understand that. There's so many levels of human nature. There's so many things that we can talk about. There's so many slices of reality. That's why I love to go in on topics with surgical precision. Really go in. Because I think a lot. I'm a clown. You know some of the other videos, and you know we had so much fun the other day. Kimberly and Amico came on, and we were talking crazy, and I was talking crazy. I love to have a good time. Anybody who sees those types of videos that I do, or it's me, it's just a different slice. But behind all of it, that's why sometimes I'm up and I'm just thinking. Because this life is very complex, yet it's very simple. And a lot of the times when we get involved in bad situations, I'll say it the Christian way, it's because we heard the bell ring, peeked out the window and saw it was a devil. The devil looked so good, we let him right on in. But we didn't, we knew he was a devil, but oh, he's got that nice Benz outside. He's got that nice suit. He's got that nice watch. Look how his hair is cut. Look at those glasses he has on. Oh, you open the door. He smells so good. Look at the cologne that he has on. And he wants to use your restroom. Come in, sit down and chat. It could be the biggest, baddest situation in your life. And you always remember that first time. You say, what was I thinking? Fellas, it's the same thing for a woman. I just realized that my pinky is broke. I mean, I always knew it, but I never cracked it to make it come back. That I was defending myself, and that happened. Yeah, I'm looking at the screen at myself, and I'm like, okay. Anyway, a lot of fellas get fooled by their lower desires. Like I said before, I don't know what you call it in different parts of the country. Maybe you can add on to that if you're live now, or maybe not. There's so much stuff blocking this chat room. I'm going to wrap it down soon, y'all. But this is the time I want to really do my shows, because I can lay down if I want, do some more. But when I was doing it 10 o'clock, that was 3 o'clock for me. That's in the middle of my day. You know, there's no secret that we're building a home and wrapping it up soon. And the members will know, the close people will see, right? And that goes right in the middle of my day, you know? So I said, you know, let me not front. Let's do it this way, because I can make it even go a little longer if I want, if I feel to. And it's this time of the day for me right now. What time is it? It's almost midnight. Yeah, almost midnight. I'm more cerebral then. More comes out of me easy then. Mrs. SCURV took a day off from working in the yard up there. She rested, and we went to this health food store. Big advertisements and everything. It's a little tiny shop and everything. It's like, you don't have anything here, and everything is expensive. So we went there, went and sat down and found this other great supermarket. I had my camera right there. I wanted to show everybody, but it just wasn't the vibe. I didn't want to be, you can't videotape here. You know, I didn't want to get that, you know. Yes, let me just give you some love here. I see a Facebook. Whenever I see Facebook friends pop on, and everything else is a blur because the thing is away from me, but I see the blue. Much love to you. Much love to you. Like I said before, a lot of us men, we see the bodies. We see the plastic surgery. We see the natural ones. And as a man, that is going to catch your eye. Boop, you catch yourself. It's like when Mike Tyson fought Tony Tucker back in 1987. This was the invincible Tyson. But Tony Tucker came by with a right, and for a split second, it knocked Mike Tyson back. But he came back again. And the whole fight, he won the fight. That whole thing is that you saw the chink in the armor. So you got to have your mind right, because these bodies are like, it catch your eye, boom, it hits you. You get enough hits, you're going to fall down. And if you fall down, you're going to fall down in the wrong bed. Like I said before, what do you call it in your part of the country, your part of the world? I know up in New York, they used to call it, you know, the hoe stroll. H-O-E, hoe. That's what they were doing. Stroll. Where the hoes walk, the street where the prostitutes are, the whole stroll. And I would never call my sisters that, but we got to understand that some do that. So Instagram and all other social media platforms have become the modern day whole stroll. You can get hookups. You can put out your Cash App as a woman, and men do too, gay men and all that stuff do that too. Here's my Cash App. If you like what you see, if you want to see more pictures, hit my Cash App. If you want to hook up and pay me, fly me out. Don't y'all know there's a lot of flyouts going on? And you got dudes out there who they don't even want to be the representative. They just want to be themselves, get what they think they want, and send you on your way. So now we're in a time where we really don't want a full relationship. It's too much. It's too much commitment. Too much commitment. Let me just take that part that I want, and we'll do and deal, and that's it. There's something wrong with that, y'all. You know, there's something wrong. I mean, I've never been one to pay for anything, if you know what I mean. But those who do, and there are women who have those part-time lovers, like, you know, I'm going to give you that call. If you don't answer back, you lost out because I got another friend. I give you that call. You come over here. We have a little fun. You go. I'm not knocking nobody on what they do. I'm not knocking nobody on what food they choose off of the menu of life. If you want dessert and everybody else is eating dinner, that's on you. You just might not be as nourished as that person. It's just like going to IHOP, International House of Pancakes or Denny's. You go in there at nighttime and you want breakfast food, so be it. You go at breakfast time and you want dinner, it doesn't matter. You eat what you eat, you want what you want, you get what you get. But the longer I live, the more I find is that it's all about living in balance. Living in balance. Not imbalanced, but living in balance. And when we really look at it that way, we will realize why we wear down certain parts of our life more than others, because we're imbalanced. If your tires are not aligned and it's rubbing the rubber more so, and you go fast and you think it's not hurting, you drive long enough with that check engine light on, something's out of balance. You ignore it. It's going to affect something else. You hear the squeaking of your brakes. After a while, it cuts down to the rotor. Now, as opposed to paying a little money to change the brake pad, you got to change the rotors. So the more imbalance that we're living, even if that one aspect of our life is so pleasurable that we focus on that, but we're not focusing on the other things. I'm going to wrap it up after I say this. You have the guy who's the nerd, or the woman. She's in school. See, you got the mental, the spiritual, and the physical. So he's into the mental. I don't give a damn about nothing else. I'm going to focus on schoolwork. I am a nerd. I don't care about looking good for the women. I don't even care about my health. I don't care that spirituality stuff. I don't care. And he might be a nice guy. He might be a great guy, but he's living in balance. So he might be the fat nerd that lived off of donuts and fast food and sat up in the house, and he only talks to other dudes who are nerds. He's not really he's into nerd women. They're basically asexual. Asexual means that you don't have sex with anybody, or you don't even have a desire for it, right? And so now his mother dies. He hasn't developed himself spiritually. And so now when he has to be forced to acknowledge that there's something more than his narrow little world, throws him off. Maybe the dude commits suicide. Who knows? Hopefully not. And then you have the guys and the women who, my answer to everything will be to keep myself fit and in shape. They tell you that, but they got a void inside of them that's pushing them to do all of that, because there's a void inside. There's a pain, there's an insecurity, there's something on the inside that they're making up for. So while they look great to the world, they say, oh, I want to be like you. And all the overtraining that they're doing, all the living in balance, they may not have nothing in their head. They may just be a body. Now, I know a lot of people who have great bodies who are very smart and in balance with the spiritual. Because if you have a tripod with 3 legs and you take one away, it's going to fall, right? So we need to deal that way and live in a balanced way. And that's what we need to look at in a person who might be a potential mate, that they're trying to find balance in their life. Because if not, it's going to be a problem for you. And sometimes they don't look at all three legs equally or evenly. They may have two pretty much going on, but they spot what you're strong in and want you to be the leg to hold them up like that tripod. Right? And you realize how inept they are in that particular area. You have that woman or that man who's always up in the church, not realizing that you're not going to get full spirituality in a religious environment. Religious means doing it over and over again. I wipe and clean up every time I do a number two. Sorry for the too much information. I hope we all do. I will never hold your phone, your cell phone if you don't. I'll be like this, like, I don't want to hold your cell phone. You know what I mean? But you can also, like I said, people can scope you out to be a cheap filler for their life. I have this void, so they'll be strong where I'm weak. But you need to work on being strong in all the areas of your life, right? Anyway, I'm going to come back the same time tomorrow night. If I'm coming, it's going to be 10 o'clock for me, 5 o'clock for you. We're going to do it this way, just a raw, direct chat, showing a few screens. Other people can come on in, whatever. This is what I want to do. It's better for me this way. See, I put full energy, didn't have to worry about certain things, and I had a wonderful day. I had a wonderful day outside. This will allow me to take my camera and get a little footage that I can share with you on the show. If I want to bring up a question or something, and I'm still open for your suggestions for shows and different things that we can discuss. Because again, I can take this subject and flip it 50 times by looking at it in a different angle. And in actuality, I didn't finish. You know what I mean? There's still stuff that I can share and say and everything like that. I didn't finish. Matter of fact, I started out with some crazy audio, right? I'm gonna play one. It's about white women and black men and black women, and it's funny. It's funny stuff. It's funny stuff. Let me see which one I'm gonna play on the way out. And I should talk about this type of thing maybe tomorrow. I don't know. Maybe I'm flexible. You can. It's like throwing up that little piece of clay, and they take the right, boom, and they shoot it. I don't have to research, and I've been through enough in this life to know, pretty much what's what. Let me play this little piece here, and let me know if you can hear it.
Black man, learn more before you get that pussy, or a jail cell will be waiting for you. Do not choose a white woman her own race does not want.
Funny stuff.
Do not choose a white woman as a wife if she is excellent at the nasty sexual things in bed. For the minute you are out of her sight, some other man dick will be inside her. Do not choose a white woman for a wife that does not have a job or education, for it is easy for white women to go to college and find jobs over any other race of women. Do not ignore a white woman that says, I want that black dick, for she soon will have a history of them when you are out of her sight. You can a 12-inch dick, and she will leave you for a 12.5-inch dick. Understand. Do not choose a white woman that is critical of black women, for it is known that white people love to hurt what they cannot control.
Okay, I'm not condoning this white woman stuff. This is just something funny I heard. Let me just play it. Maybe we'll talk about stuff like this tomorrow, but we got another 5 minutes of this.
Or is in competition with. If you are an athletic, healthy black man, do not be with a white woman that is fat and ugly. Do not get with a white woman and have substandard income, for white women love their families, and bringing a poor black man to family gatherings is like bringing you there in slave chains. Do not get with a white woman who is your boss, for the minute is upset, you not only will be fired, but receive a nasty reference, 9 times out of 10,
Stay away
a sexual harassment one. Do not get with a white woman for sex alone. If you want a whore, pay for one. For white women become too attached, and a heartbroken white woman is a dangerous white woman. Do not ever in your entire life put your hands in an unloving way on a white woman, or any woman, as a matter of fact, for all kinds of charges will be waiting, sending you away in prison for years just for her to get over the pain you cause her.
Leave him alone.
Do not eat a white woman's pussy before looking at it and smelling it, unless you like tasting another man's sperm. Do not choose a white woman that have low self-esteem, for she is a troubled woman and looking for you to be her doctor, father, and psychiatrist, and that will become too stressful. Do not introduce your white woman to your male friends or brothers, for soon they will have their dicks inside of her if she is a poor character woman. Do not compliment her on having good pussy, for that is a turnoff for white women. A good white woman knows she has a good pussy, but she does not think with it, for she has bigger plans. Do not try to buy a white woman with gifts, dinners, or other things, for they are unimpressive and soon will lose their flavor. White woman is not impressed with the same things as black woman, for being a gentleman and good listener wins every time. If you please her sexually, do not brag and tell the whole world about it, for that is a way men make their women whores in the eyes of others. A man should never destroy his woman's reputation in the light of complimenting her pleasures she gives to him. Do not be blinded by beauty and lust of a white woman, for more men have been hurt by sluts and whores dress as queens. Do not rush a white woman's decision. A desperate black man is a very, very dangerous one. Do not waste a white woman's time with lies and bullshit. If you want her for something more, please let her know. Honesty beat wrong impressions. Remember, white women want a black man to hurt the pussy or go crazy in his lovemaking, and she want a white man for security and show.
Leave him alone.
Do not be ignorant of the world and social interest, for nothing is more unattractive than a black that thinks with his dick but cannot converse in social gatherings. Last, but the most important one of all, if you love a white woman, do not tell her with gifts. Show her with your actions, for true love overcome difficult times. You do not need a whole book to tell you black men love white woman pussy, for 20 Bibles would not be big enough to explain it. The wetness.
Like I said, I would agree with that, but it's something funny to think about on certain points with a white man saying that, right? You put your hands on them, they're gonna lock you up. You know, some of our sisters may like be, oh, I love him. And so I'm not saying that, you know, but there's so many dynamics in human nature to talk about. And I had to sprinkle that. Maybe we'll talk about these things. I got some more recordings, but I'm gonna hold them back. I'm not gonna share it with you right away. You know what I mean? But we're going to talk. I'm going to leave out right now. It's been 2 hours and 7 minutes. I want to save some for tomorrow night at what time? 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It won't be in the morning. If I do put something in the morning, it'll be something I recorded at night. But I'll be gathering and making recordings along my way, even if I'm at the house working, as it hits me, and it'll work better for me. So the days that I'm really tired, and I have some stuff I'm going to put up tonight for sure. I'm going to put some stuff up there. It's going to take a little while, the graphics and everything, but I have more for you. But for me right now, like I said, it's a little after, wait a second. It's a little after, 12 midnight. I'm going to give it 2 more hours of work, get to bed. I can still get up early enough. Anyway, it's going to always be something. I'm going to find something, share something. And I see Sister Miko came on, and we got to get back with Kimberly again, do something. Master Glam, I got to get you on. And like I said, I just love my life. I love my life. I love this aspect of my life that I share with you and the vibe that we have, and old, you know, I'm not going to say wisdom, but just things, anecdotes and thoughts and experiences that I can share. It validates my life. You know, it's like that old man who has a garage sale and he thinks everything is, it's a little bit of junk here and there, and somebody finds something that's very valuable to them. And that's what you all do for me. You know what I mean? You validate my life. I'll share my experiences, good and bad. I wasn't always perfect in the situations. I've done some dumb things. I've done some smart things. But the main thing is that I'm still here. And okay, yeah. Well, tomorrow night, this time, we're gonna have a church situation. And Master Glam, I want you there if you can, right? I definitely want you there and everybody else to chime on in. We're gonna have a good long one. And that'll be my nightcap for me. I don't care if it goes 2, 3, 4 hours. We can rock with that. Anyway, let me hit it off right now. Like, share, and subscribe. Download the LANCESCURV app. Hit the website, lancescurv.com. Let's share stuff. You know, they're clamping down on the YouTube channel and shadow banning me a little more now. They're doing that. So share little things. And if a little timestamp, you say, hey, do you agree with what this guy said or whatever? Share it out and keep things going. I'm working hard to keep things going. And like I said, just trying to live a balanced life. Much love to you all. I will talk to you later on. LANCESCURV out. Let's hit a little music. We're out. Bang.
Why are we called Negroes? Why are we deaf, dumb, and blind? Why is everybody making progress, yet we seem to be lagging so far behind? Why are we mistreated? Why are we in this condition, stripped of our names, our language, our culture, our God, and our religion? Here in America, all of our religious training has been gotten by the preacher. He has told us of a heaven way up in the sky that we can't enjoy now, but rather after we die. But all of the years that we're living, for us there's nothing but hell, pain, torture, and misgiving. Yet the Bible speaks of a heaven filled with material luxury, which the white man and the preacher has right here, so we see. So my friend, take it for what it's worth. Your heaven and your hell is right here on this earth. So let's check back into history, which rewards all research and tells us plainly. Before the white man gained entry to the East, he was living in the caves of Europe, a ravenous beast, eating juniper roots and eating flesh raw, till God sent Moses to civilize him and teach him the law. Then, following Marco Polo, an explorer, he gained entry into Asia and Africa. From China he took silk and gunpowder. From India he took jute, manganese, and rubber. He raped Africa of her diamonds and her gold. From the Mideast he took barrels of oil untold. Raping, robbing, and murdering everything in his path. The whole black world has tasted of the white man's wrath. So my friend, it's not hard to tell. A white man's heaven is a black man's hell. Oh, my friend, it's easy to tell. White man heaven is black man hell. John Hawkins showed up in our country, telling us of a land filled with luxury. He said, black man, follow me to America. There you'll find more gold for your labor. Our foreparents were tricked onto his boat. Since that time we've been wrestling with the gold. We landed here in Jamestown, Virginia, 400 years to suffer. So my friend, it's easy to tell, white man heaven is black man hell. When the slave master wanted to have some sport, he would heap on our parents cruelties of the worst sort, burn them at stake, hang them on trees. His ears were deaf to our parents' pleas. Though you were pregnant, black woman, you pull the plow like a horse, like a dog, even a cow. He filled your womb with his wicked seed. His half-white children you were made to breed. Oh, my friend, it's easy to tell, white man heaven is a black man hell. So-called Negro, open up your eyes. Black man everywhere is on the rise. He has kicked the white man out of Asia, and he's going fast out of Africa. With every ounce of strength and breath, his cry is give us liberty or give us death. The whole black world has their eyes on you to see what the so-called Negro is going.